So I just got my car over here about a week ago and been working on doing the out of province inspection. And they told me that I need to replace my upper and lower control arm bushings in the rear. To be honest, they're totally fine, but I think this is a cash grab. But I'm going to go ahead and make a video on how to do that. So first thing we're going to do is just jack this car up. And I'll use the rear center differential there. Get that placed right there. So we're going to work on the right side first. First thing we're going to do is take this wheel off, and then that'll give us access to both the upper and lower control arms here. So now that we got this wheel off, you can take a look at the control arms. So this one right there is the connection for the upper control arm, which is this piece here, to the knuckle. And up there, you can see is where it bolts to the subframe. You're going to want to spray these bolts down pretty liberally with PV Blaster. You can see I actually sprayed that one already, even though that's the lateral link. We're not going to be touching that today, but I went through last night and sprayed a lot of the bolts. This is where the lower control arm links, and then that is the connection to the subframe. So these are all 17mm bolts. You're going to need a breaker bar and a wrench. The wrench is actually going to be for that one in there because you can't really fit anything else in on this side other than a wrench. I know because I tried to do this the other night and had to go out and buy a wrench. So we've got that. I've got this torque wrench that I use as a nice ratcheting breaker bar. It's kind of a shitty torque wrench that I just turned into a breaker bar. So that's nice to have. Otherwise, a good breaker bar like that's going to work, but it's going to take you a little bit longer. And then, yeah, 17 sockets. And that's it. So let's get to work. So first thing we're going to unbolt is right here. Now you can see that's pretty rusted. It's probably rusted on a lot of people's cars. So what you're going to want to do is take a wire brush and clean that off just so that your socket doesn't slip. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So because of the rust on these things, sometimes you just need to... Oh. Damn it. Hammer that socket on for it to work on there. Okay. And then let's go around to the back. And there, you can see that one back there. I cleaned up and sprayed a little bit already, so I'll probably just slip a socket right on there with a breaker bar, and we'll be good to go. So I got this bottom one out. I'm going to leave the bolt in there, let it hang in there for a sec while I take out the top one. Oh, okay, so that one's out. That's good. There we go. Get out of there. So I just have to unscrew that one a bit more, and it came out. And now we've got this link stuck in there that just needs to come out. I'm going to unbolt this one here and then pop it right out. There we go. Came right out. So now this thing is just holding itself in with some, probably some rust or something. So we can go ahead and knock it out. And as I said, no bracket on there, but otherwise pretty much the exact same thing, right? Ooh. Yeah, so I'm not super worried about that. I mean, I'm just gonna saw that one off, grind it off before I put it in, just because I don't want it to hit the suspension or have any problems. Might as well use something that looks exactly the same. So I'll go do that, and then I'll get back to the video. First thing I'm gonna do is just go ahead and take a brush and just brush some of the rust out of here, both the lower and the upper spots there, just to make it easier to slide this thing in. So the hollow part goes to the back and the nuts go to the back. Okay, so let me save you guys a whole bunch of headache here for when you do yours, and let you know that jacking it up by the trailing arm does work. You just bolt that upper one in there first, loosely, and then jack it up, and you'll be able to feed your lower one through, and you can just tap it in with the hammer. And then where's it? There you go, it's sticking out right there. Right there. Yeah. And then you're just going to torque it down. It's going to be 89 foot-pounds. Now, I'm going to torque mine down while I have it jacked up like this, because since these are bushings, you don't want to torque them down while the wheel is hanging, because then they'll be in the proper position while it's hanging, but when you lower the car, it'll be twisted. So I don't know if that's recommended in the manual or whatever, but that's what I'm going to do, because from what I know about cars, you don't want to have a torque down bushing in the wrong spot. You guys can do what you like with that. Anyway, yeah, so 89 foot-pounds, going to torque that down and then move on to the uppers. Okay, so I just finished up with torquing the lower control arm there. It's all bolted in, it's all settled up. If that's the only one that you're going to do, basically you just throw the wheel back on and you're good to go. I was originally going to do this upper control arm as well. I've got the aluminum one right there. But I'm having some issues here with that bolt. I don't know if you can see it. It's the rear one right there. Now that bolt is pretty stripped and it's in an area where it's extremely difficult to get to. So I've decided, instead of pawing at it with my wrenches and stripping it a little bit more, I'm just going to take it to a shop and have them get that one out for me. So I'm just going to throw everything back on, and yeah, if you were intending to do that upper control arm, you can see pretty much what you'd need to do there. But for me today, that's it. I'm done. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. You can go ahead and subscribe. Next thing I've got coming is probably banjo bolts. I'm going to take the banjo bolts out of the car, this turbo, and yeah, some other things. I've got double din, JDM double din center console. I've got some JDM headlights I'm going to throw in there, or maybe even pull mine out and clear them. And yeah, subscribe if you like what you see. Thanks.